transit, in 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 transit,
So, Marcus Moore, hello.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. We're both here all of a sudden.
Yeah, real life. Finally.
Finally, we're at the Lot Radio. This is live, coming straight from New York and being rebroadcast on Thursday morning on Worldwide FM. And but I'm here for Winterjazz. You're here, and I wasn't expecting to see you today.
I know, yeah. Shout out to my man Havana. He was like, yeah, meet me at the Lot Radio. You know, we're going to just go talk to Giles real quick.
Very good. So, okay, why are we here? Well, every year I'm here. It's the Winterjazz. It's the 10th edition this year.
Yeah.
Marcus, of course, is one of the great writers who's just been championing music. And, we've been connecting on a lot of projects. You've been pushing a lot of the UK jazz. And you've got this incredible show, which is one of the highlights of this year's Winterjazz, which is The Sun Rises in the East, which is a kind of curated reimagining of the M2May album Land of the Blacks.
Yeah. So it started out as a reimagining of the M2May record Land of the Blacks, but then we decided to just go ahead and broaden it out to just shout out the East as a whole. So it opens us up for more experimentation. You know what I'm saying?
So the East was a club, right?
The East was a cultural center. It was a black-centered cultural center in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn in the late 60s through the 70s. So, you know, with this show, we decided we can just go ahead. We can shout out a Pharoah Sanders record. We can shout out the stuff that Max Roach did there. It opens us up for all kinds of things. And we don't want to recreate the records. We want to use those records to reimagine and do something different, something new.
I can't wait. You got some amazing musicians playing there. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, actually, before we just, I've got a lot going on in my head because I know we've got a very busy show. France Fouquet is going to be joining us a bit later on, who's been celebrating his birthday tomorrow, 70 years old, absolute icon, producer, disco, the whole music. He's coming into the Lot live, so make sure you tell everybody he'll be on in about an hour's time. We've got the guys from Love Injection magazine who are fantastic. They're going to come and talk about what they've been up to, their label and their curations and all their work that they've been doing. I saw them recently actually in Japan, and in about 15-20 minutes time we've got the guys from Human Head Records, which is my favorite record shop.
There we go.
Do you like that shop? Do you go there? So they got they got all the records up on the wall.
I know about the shop, but I haven't been there.
It's amazing. So that's the first thing I do when I come to New York. I got there quickly yesterday. Normally I'd come in the morning. I arrived yesterday afternoon. And I thought, well, I got in a bit early. You know, sometimes you get, when you're doing the jet lag thing, you don't want to get in too early because there's a long time before you have to sleep, right? So you have to fill that time, because if you have that kind of sleep in the afternoon, you're messed up.
Then
big
you're up
time.
all night.
Up all night. So I was lucky. I got in about 3, and then I went straight over there to their record shop yesterday.
Yeah.
And spent 3 hours there. So by the time I got back to the hotel, it was 8 o'clock. I could just stretch it out to 11. And here we are now. But with Marcus, who's our guest. So yeah, just tell me a bit about you know, how, I mean, writing basically, right? You wrote books and so tell us about your background a bit.
Yeah, so I guess if anything, if anybody wants to characterize me, it is definitely writer. So I cover jazz and I cover experimental music over at the New York Times, a little bit of Tidal. I've written at a bunch of different places, you know, Pitchfork and Entertainment Weekly, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I've written books. So in 2020, I wrote the first ever book about Kendrick Lamar, called The Butterfly Effect. Shout out to you, shouted that book out. Yeah. So thank you. Amazing. And then later this year, I have a book coming out on De La Soul called High and Rising.
I heard about that.
Called High and Rising. Yeah. So I'm a writer, but as I've sort of gone through my career, I have more interest in other things, sort of like you, where it's like I'm just a curious person. You know what I mean? So it's like, whether it's this show or whether it's curating the 5 minutes that'll make you love series at the Times, I just like doing different things to shout out music. You know, you
did a brilliant piece. Actually, it just came out a few days ago in the New York Times on Strata East Records, which is incredible. I mean, there's a lot of words there. They've given you a lot of sort of space.
You know, it's kind of wild because every time I do stuff like that, I always think maybe it's a bridge too far for the reader. Like, okay, we're gonna do Strata East Records for the heads. And then come to find out, that's the one that everybody goes up for. You know, a few months before that, I did one on avant-garde jazz, thinking like, okay, this is going to be the one here. And everybody loved it. Like, it gets a ton of comments. So it's like, wow, okay, people really, what I'm learning is that people really go up for the quote-unquote weird music that you and I naturally love, that I figure Times readers may not know quite as well, you know.
You've been amazing, very important for us as well. Some really big pieces in the Times on sort of the UK jazz. Big work on Yusef Days, who's been touring and getting a lot of love here in the States. Thanks to you and all the others who've been sort of championing him. And so maybe what we should do at this point is just maybe play a track from The Land of the Blacks from M2 May and just remind us. So that's going to be on Sunday.
Sunday night, doors open at 7. Show starts at 8.
Yeah.
At Crown Hill Theater in Bed-Stuy, and our in-house DJ is DJ Spinner.
Amazing.
You know, and our band, we now have a 12-piece band, and we have Gary Bartz, Billy Hart, Julius Rodriguez, Luke Stewart, More Mother, Elucid, Kwaku Sumbri, and other people I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
No, that's good. I mean, it's buzzing, right? The jazz. Now, one question my son asked me the other day was, Dad, where's jazz? Where's the hotbed of jazz in America? You know, is it New Orleans? Is it St. Louis? Is it Chicago? I said it's New York. That's where all the musicians are mainly. I mean, of course, they're everywhere, but I feel that it's a bit like, if you're playing in a jam here, you know there's going to be some top-rated elite musicians watching you. So the levels are just super high here, right? Or
No, I think that's accurate. It's like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Like, New York local is different from any other city's local, you know, because New York local is still international. So if you have somebody like an Emmanuel Wilkins or Joel Ross who's playing a local show, you're still getting all kinds of people coming through, you know. So I would say definitely. And it's not just because I live here. I would say that the New York scene is probably the buzziest for sure.
Marcus, listen, thank you so much. We're going to play a track from this incredible old record. I mean, in fact, it's quite hard to get the M2 May album.
It really is.
Is it being reissued or anything? Is there something?
I heard it might be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, those Strata East records are tough because, of course, the whole thing about Strata East was that it was created as a cooperative. So from what I understand, basically the musicians left the studio with the tapes. And so it was a kind of sort of split, they kind of split the profits.
Exactly, yeah. It's artist driven. They were able to sort of, make a living off of their art, unlike certain record labels today.
Sure. So definitely, a really good concept and a formula, which in fact Stanley Cowell and Charles Tolliver sort of kind of came up with, who were the guys who played on that Max Roach track we opened up the show with today. And Charles Tolliver will be here tomorrow as well. We're doing the show at Public Records with Tyshawn Sorry, which I'm doing actually.
Oh,
and we're replaying that album, and hopefully Charles will be coming as well, because I was chatting to him yesterday, and he's in town. He's doing a show with Donald Harrison, so hopefully he'll come and have a little chat.
That's a hot ticket, man. I'm looking forward to that show tomorrow.
Hot ticket. Well, let's you come to mine, I'll come to yours.
I'll see you there.
Bye. Nice. right. So here we are. It's the 9th of January 2024. It's another edition of Winter Jazz. And I've made it to the Lot Radio. Francois is here. He's been running this organisation, this community hub for DJs and the odd little event for several years now. And thank you very much. Merci, Francois, inviting me here once again. And I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to start my week off connecting with some of the people that I'll be working alongside this week or hanging out with. So as I said, just whilst talking to Marcus Moore, I can't believe we had Marcus come in at the beginning of the show, which is brilliant. What a lovely bonus. That's what happens in New York, actually. Random people come. I was saying the other day, actually, I remember we used to do a night at the Poisson Rouge, which used to be the Village Gate, and still going. Lots of events happening there this year for Winter Jazz. And I remember we were doing a thing every year where we'd bring a load of UK acts to come over. I think we did 3 or 4 years of that. Anyway, at the end of one of the nights, I found out that the guy who was doing the sound was Gil Scott-Heron's son. I didn't know he had any kids, but anyway, he was introduced to me as Gil Scott-Heron's son. So that's the kind of thing that happens in New York. You kind of bump into people, friends. And I remember the other time I did a gig years ago at in Central Park, Summer Stage, and with, I think it was with Africa Bambaataa or Ron Trent. Anyway, I suddenly was introduced to the son of Johnny Hammond's Gears, you know. So, wow, your dad did Los Conquistadores Chocolates. Yeah, he was like, yeah. I was like, that doesn't happen in Hackney, really. Anyway, so that's that. This weekend, there's loads of stuff happening. Kicking off really pretty much tomorrow here with Winter Jazz. So many events. I suggest that you go to the Winter Jazz website. But the night at the East with David Murray, Gary Bartz, Billy Hart, Shabaka, who is artist in residence this year, Nicole Mitchell, Ahmed Abdullah, of course, who played a lot with Steve Reed, Small Mother, Julius Rodriguez, Luke Stewart, oh gosh. And Spinner's the DJ, so that's happening at Crown Hill Theatre, and that's on Sunday. And on Thursday, I'll be doing my regular, Thursday. I'm getting confused with the days. This Thursday, I'll be doing what I normally do, which is New Blue, which is a great little space for live and DJ. And in fact, Bakani Daya is going to be performing earlier on in the evening. Okay, a lot radio. So as I was saying to Marcus, when I that was the first release, by the way, on Strata East, Charles Tolliver, Stanley Cowell, who kind of came out of the whole Max Roach Members Don't Get Weary thing, which came out a couple of years previously, but that album in a way was the sort of beginning of an idea, I feel, which had Gary Bartz on it as well. You heard music from them too, made from the original Land of the Blacks. So as I said to Marcus, I sort of arrived yesterday, and the first thing I did was go record shopping, because that kind of allows me to sort of keep the jet lag away and extend the day. So I went straight down to Human Head Records, and here's the pick of the bunch, and we're going to get Travis to come in and chat and play some tunes. Sean's here as well, Sean Dubb's here as well, so two of the key players from this amazing store in Brooklyn coming up. Okay. I can't believe it. Travis and Sean have just arrived. Travis Klein, Sean Dubb, from the brilliant Human Head Records, and I've asked them to sort of pick a few tunes. And the first one they pulled out is a track which I've been after for ever, and I was going to say to you, really, if anything that gets played on here has got to end up in my record bag.
I knew that conversation was coming. Yeah.
No, it's all good. So Travis, apparently you've not been on the lot, but your shop is not far from here, right?
Yeah, we do have a Records for Rent show on here.
Yeah.
All the staff are, professionally playing out, and so we've always given them the platform here to showcase what they do, and I'm there working the records, having a good time.
Yeah, you are. And I know that you came over to the UK you come to the UK quite a lot. So first of all, maybe tell us about the shop, in fact, because I first went to your store maybe 5 or 6 years ago when it was somewhere else. It was a different place.
About a 5-minute walk from there. Yeah.
I went down to, I think I was with Geology. Maybe he took me to you that first time. So tell me a bit about the history of Human Head and how you've got to where you are right now.
10-year secondhand record shop, almost exclusively secondhand titles, record collections, other than the stuff that Sean curates in the house section in terms of new stock. Just kind of got into a knowledge-based business with no knowledge, and it worked out. And we've taken on what New York has had to offer, and it's just kind of a really fun kind of brain game in trying to look at all these artifacts that are around us and trying to find the best home for them. And that's a lot of kind of what the thought process is, and just keeps the whole thing interesting. And it's not widgets, it's really fun. And
I mean, the thing about your store, when I go, there's always going to be some curiosities that I've got no clue about, and you have different very high-end specializations and expertise. So the Brazilian thing was always something you'd go to Human Head and there will be stuff there. The dance thing and the sort of boogie disco soul thing, incredible. I mean, the record at the moment I'm playing is a private press 7-inch kind of tune that I got. In fact, Sean pulled it out for me yesterday. He says, I think you might like this one. It's a sort of Herbie Hancock Headhunters private press DIY, which we love. So that's the kind of thing you get in the place, and so in a way, it's like when you go into your shop, they're almost like, it's about like going to a weekend or a festival where there's different rooms, and there's going to be these different rooms, experts for specialising in certain areas, and you all kind of how does the process? Yeah, how do you all what's your role in it, or do you sort of filter it all through? Do you sort of manage the shit? But then again, you're picking tunes. What's your speciality? What's your music?
We joke about my specialty is expensive, because we have like maybe 12 records in an 8-hour shift, 12, 15 records to play. So I don't really play $2 records in the shop for people to listen to. But we take on what New York has had to offer, which is American sounds, West Indian sounds, Latin sounds. These are things that I didn't know anything about them when we started, but just kind of taking on and being naturally curious has gotten us pretty far.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so, and as I was saying, you came over to the UK. Sean came over to we out here because we had the Mint, the music fair that happens, the record fair.
Yep.
That happens there. And I know that you didn't manage to stay for the festival, but you were there.
I went there, made the table, did all the work out of the container, and then let them go have the fun, and came back and went and bought some other records. Right. I think I went to Brazil after that and bought some stuff. You're trying to bring them all into one house. It's a fun excuse to travel.
It's definitely that, and it was great actually yesterday just to come into your shop on a Tuesday, and it was full. Everybody was there. Everybody was in. Everybody was into it, and a few hours spent very nicely in there. Okay, so let's get you both to play a few tunes, and we're going to start off with the one which is probably not going to leave this studio.
Probably it might.
It might. Did you by the way, did you play the James Spalding records because it was on the East record label and we were talking about the East special night that they're doing at Winterjazz with Mark? Did you have any connection to what we were talking about?
You nailed it. How did you put that together?
No,
it's
that's
incredible.
it's quite deeply put. But anyway, yeah. Thank you for pulling that James Spalding out. It's an incredible track, and it was actually the B-side that you played, right, from Uhuru Sasa.
Correct. I think most like heavy diggers are looking for the A side, which is a little more groove oriented. I really like the B side. Just got a crazy guitar in the beginning of it for no reason, and yeah.
Question: when a record like this pops up for you as somebody who runs this organization, and you look into Discogs and you see the value of it, right? Where does Discogs and you? Because another thing I do like about your place is that it doesn't feel controlled by the Discogs type of price. So you don't make the immediate comparisons. You look deeper than that. And
I mean, for stuff that's basic and has data, I think that's roughly true, and we try to give people a win in the shop, just naturally understanding how people shop nowadays. And I mean, I do the same thing. If I see a $500 record on a wall that I've never seen before, I'm going to look it up because I'm interested and want to make sure it's not a $50 record, right? But we try to give wins in the shop. Something that's like this is particularly difficult because it really is artifact level. I got that don't have a lot of data where you're naming your price, and it's not really a strength of mine. Usually I'll just wait and have conversation with kind of larger authority figures to kind of fill the gaps.
And yeah, definitely. And being where you are, and people dropping records off. So people, it says records for sale, and we buy records. So you get people coming in, randoms, with boxes of records. I'm just trying. What's the level of quality of records that would come in from someone who's just like getting rid of a few records in the back of their house to, here in New York, in Brooklyn?
It's white paper, but I mean, there's great soil here.
Yeah.
White paper meaning it runs the gamut of any possibility. This record, for example, not this particular copy that we just played, but the other. I've had one other copy. It came from a garbage bag that was about to be thrown out. It was the only 7 in a pile of 50 LPs. And we essentially saved it from a landfill. And, that naturally happens here because people just not everybody understands that there is some sort of value on it. There's definitely a level of blue notes where the people that collected them are too old to get up and go anywhere, and some of that is being kind of lost to time, or just don't have the motivation. They don't need the money, and they're in their 80s, and they sit there until something happens, and then the people cleaning the house look for a place to sell them. So, again, it's about the soil.
Yeah. Well, it's good soil in New York, of course, and always great Latin music here, right? I mean, that's something I tend to look out for. So, okay, Sean, tell us about the next one. Who picked this one? Sean?
I picked this one. I picked this one, but this is in Travis's collection.
Okay.
I have this too.
Yeah.
I hope I'm saying his name right. George Dalto.
George Dalto.
Georgia Dalto.
Yeah.
It's just a record I found in the store when I started working. Like, I didn't know anything about this at all, but I know a lot of people sampled it and used it for stuff. So.
And Sean, you were at Near Mint. You came to the We Out Here festival.
Yeah, I was there.
How was it? How was it for you? What was your impression of a sort of UK festival out where everyone's camping and you're out there with the weather depending?
It was great. I learned about having your what do you call it, your boots, your knickers, or what do you call those things, your willies.
Willies.
I learned about willies. Willies was great, very crucial.
Yeah.
Having a proper tent also crucial.
Yeah.
Makes life better. But no, and that show was amazing. It was amazing to be around that many people that were into music, like thousands of people into the same thing, but also it felt like people from all over the place, and it was kind of like a little fantasy world because you're literally in the middle of nowhere. That was a long ride into wherever we were. It was like a castle or something like that, and I don't know. It was amazing, and all the music was good. the setup was amazing. Getting the aesthetics of how everything flowed was great. Like I said, I had a really, really good time. It was really fun being at, and when you had this record store in the middle of nowhere, which was amazing. Shouts out to everyone that was at Nermit. That was a really good time.
Shout out Russ.
Rook family, all area. That was so much fun. So I had a great time. I can't wait for this year. I saw some people on the build. I'm looking forward to checking out as well.
Okay, this is the lot coming live from New York, Brooklyn, and we are in the company of Travis and Sean of Human Head Records. We're going to be joined soon by Francois K and the guys from Love Injection. Thanks a lot. Hey, Francois here. And thanks a lot to these guys as well for reminding us of this this record, because I'd completely forgotten how brilliant this is, from Georges Dalto. So yeah, Travis, tell me a little bit more about. I'm sort of curious about the kind of people who come to see you and that you work with. So obviously you've got the local crew, and you said to me yesterday that the busiest day of the week is Saturdays.
Generally speaking, yeah. I mean, your 9 to 5 crowd. You know, the majority of the workforce is off on Saturdays, and you know they're getting their brunch, and you know it's a different. There are collectors that come in those hours just because that's what they have available, but by and large, it'll be a more casual crowd, and that's cool with us. We have plenty of stuff to offer to everybody, and you know, like. During the week at 12 o'clock, you see an influx of quite honestly, frequently European tourists who are waiting for the store to open, or people who are looking to sell you stuff. And then, you know, after the work day, you have an influx towards the end of the evening. And
what are you getting? What's the sort of general demographic age? Is it right across the board? You're getting.
From a buying perspective, yeah. I mean, we do get a fair amount of like 20-somethings, 30-somethings that are coming in. I mean, you know, there's a lot of kids that buy records in Brooklyn. You know, and they like what we have to offer. I mean, there's a lot of great spots, you know, in the city, and we're kind of spoiled in Brooklyn. I think all of us. And you know, it's a great way to go about a day. You know,
a place I like to go to actually, which is in Manhattan. I quite like going to the Jazz Record Center, because I found out recently that there is a little room at the back that if he's in a good mood, he'll open the door. I've never had it. I've never been in there, but I've heard there's another little room.
Did he give you access?
No,
wow.
No, I mean, I've just heard about it, but they might have it. That's the kind of place you might find a James Spaulding 7-inch. I've got a feeling.
Maybe.
All right. Listen, Francois arrived. Tell us a bit about the next record, because again, you know, the people that you work with in the store are important. Oh, just before I ask that question, actually, how important is the online bit of your shop? Because I'm finding more and more people who are kind of putting that secondary, and it's all about being in the place. How?
I think it's incredibly functional for a few reasons. I mean, one of them is we're able to offer people more money for their records because we have a dependable sale on things that we wouldn't necessarily put in the shop. We kind of utilize it as like a secondary place where it's stock that we don't necessarily want to put in the store, original pressings, and then also as condition premiums. But the stuff that is like great music that we really love and stand behind, you know, we want to put that in the store. Yeah. And there's great music on both platforms. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but like 50-50.
Yeah,
you know?
And you got big reggae vibes going on in there, right? Some dub, all that kind of stuff. Tell us about the next record, because that's one of the I haven't met.
Yeah, so this is the artist is Papa Iron. It's a B-side on a Dennis Brown 12-inch, and Roy Buckley is a brother of the shop, and he's been with us for 5, 6, 7 years now, and has given myself, Sean, all of us access to a world we would have never have seen or heard of. Beautiful people in in the community for a long time. He's lived a musical life through every major period in Jamaica, and moved to the Bronx and worked in Moody's for 30 years during every golden era period of hip hop, and it's a blessing to have him with us.
Out the pop of the label, don't be like any label. Started on the gambling table, but I'll see within unable. Yeah, you know. Brand new musical list. Musical shot the top, I'm on the top of the launch, I'm down show up. Got me say, home, I see the own sweet home. Me say, the home, me say, home, sweet home. My home, say we want to go. Africa, we want to go. Can me say, long time, Lord, them a tell I say. The black and star line, I did a come for right. But that's a lie. But that's a lie. Big man, but that's a lie. Slang bang dang do baba ruby said home, home, home my sweetie home. Home sweet home, mama said I say welcome, said home, home baby home my sweet home, home sweet home, but I see even forward. Long time I'm a walk on the promised land, but I say said Africa we want to go, but I still don't say that Africa we want to go. Sound say battle 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 say. Hey, slang bang dong slang say badu badu be. Cut it, slang on some me real say. Oh my, see that your own sweet home. See long time we really want go home. Me say oh my sweet home. Can me say home, me say own sweet home. I'm the pop on the label, don't be like in a label, stand on the gambling table. But I tell you, man, I'm willing and able. Chalo, say willing and able. Got it, don't do that. Man can't pop a bread to promote town, the producer. But I rock him, back on the microphone, and I want to say, come me say home, me say own sweet home. Come me say home, me say own sweet home. But I'll see special request to the man called David, along with the man called Papa T-Ski. Until I want the man called Papa Mike. Come me say home, me say home sweet home. Come me say home, me say home sweet home. But I tell the man we want go to Africa. Africa, man we want go to Africa. But Africa, a lot of people with little promised land. Get it? They took us away from Africa. But I didn't see them brought us down in Jamaica. Well, I don't figure work up on the deep plantation. Don't figure work up on the big plantation. Them turn I was a slave. Got it? So, know that. You shoulda never do that. No way, see you shoulda never say that. Got it? Dong, me say home, me say home sweet home. Brothers, sisters, say home, me say home sweet home. Can me say long time, say me want go home. Me say me die, this a suffer in a Babylon. Me say me suffer in a Babylon. Chola dagan, me say me suffer with the wicked man. Do it, daddy, me say me suffer in a Babylon. La, suffer with the wicked.
All right, so this is sort of made in New York. This record, right? I mean, it sounds like, or was he in Jamaica then?
No, this recorded here.
Yeah, recorded here, and I think people might appreciate the fact that Rodigan did a lot of reggae here, a lot of sound clashes here, and so the Jamaica, New York reggae scene is another big player. That's kind of
whole world.
Yeah.
That within that world, there's so many things that just like connected. And I'm definitely a novice. I've learned so much from Buck, and also just working in the shop. But like, you definitely see so many things that are connected through what they were putting out. As far as just like pressing up the records here, and how much that effect made a worldwide connection with the music.
I've just noticed your shirt.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Human Head NYC.
It's exclusive.
Very good, very good. Okay, so Sean, we're about to introduce Francois Kevorkian, and you work in the more dance corner of Human Head as such, and funk and soul and all that, but mainly the 12s and
Predominantly the 12 section. I mean, I branch out depending if I need to fill in for anyone else, but that is my bread and butter. That's how I fell into the store.
And tell us maybe about where, because we're here with Francois today. He's celebrating his birthday tomorrow, and he's been a mainstay, the mainstay of New York for me in terms of in the studio, running the scenes, pushing out alternative types of dance music.
Yeah. I mean, didn't even realize how much he was my intro into getting into dance music back when I was in California. You know, just all the stuff on Prelude, all the things that he's touched. And then, you get a job like this where you're just pounding data and you're going through things and you constantly see that person's name pop up over and over and over and over and over, like those things. And then, living here, him holding down residencies more than the average person, to be able to see him and how he's attached to so many iconic parties. And yeah, I can go on, like we're all students of Francois, like straight up. What do you, even when you don't know it, you don't realize that you are, especially if you're DJing in New York, that's the Don. Straight up.
Great words. So thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Travis.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and you can keep those records here, and I'll see you very soon.
Yeah, till next time.
Hey. Oh, that's right. We're in. We're in. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? Do you want to pick up that microphone, Francois?
Yes.
It's on the floor.
Good morning.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Excellent.
Yes. So what were you doing just now? This ritual?
We were just bringing some friends along to help us take on this little journey.
Okay, that's good. I've never seen you do that before. Is that something you do often?
You know, I could trace it back to Larry Levan, having a whole heap of them on the turntables around, you know, the booth at the Paradise Garage. There's a lot of us that have like little things like that.
Yeah.
Little
So-
friends to help us along.
No, I think that's. I might take that with. I might take one. Can I take one of those back with me, or are they sort of
I need
precious
clearance
to?
from the authorities, but it's possible.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Francois, thank you for
yes.
coming. Apparently, I was talking to Francois, the other Francois who works at here.
Yes,
here,
Lot Radio.
and he said he's been trying to get you here to come here for a long time, and so.
Well, I've been here a bunch of times, but ever since the pandemic, what's happened is that I've been streaming like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And 300 shows later, over 1,200 hours later, it's kind of become a little bit more difficult just because I'm already so committed to what we're doing on a regular basis
Yeah.
with my Twitch streams. So it's not that I want to avoid it. Obviously, I'm here with you right now. Am I not?
Absolutely, and it was great to,
Yes.
have you on the eve of your birthday. So you've been doing
No,
quite a
no,
lot.
it's today.
Oh, it is today.
Yes, the 10th. I'm actually officially turning geriatric, 70 years old.
Wow, today.
Indeed.
Oh, so are we broadcasting the show tomorrow on Worldwide FM?
That's perfectly okay. I also have a party at Good Room tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's like festivities all week long. And even though it's not my birthday party, I'm also going to play for Martin Luther King's birthday on Sunday the 14th
Yeah.
for Body and Soul,
Yes.
along with Joe Cosell and Danny Crivet.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to all of that.
Where's
Like,
that going on? Is that in?
It's at Musica, which is a fantastic space on West 50th Street in Manhattan.
Okay.
It's actually not in Brooklyn.
Right. Yeah, because I saw you last summer briefly.
Yeah, but that was a knockdown center.
Yeah. That was the knockdown sensor. So it was
Right.
always good to see. I put up a little picture of the back of you and Danny and Joe. But yeah, man, it's good to see you. Happy birthday, then officially.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Today. What
Definitely.
time did you get up this morning? What was your sort of
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? What's the rest? What?
I am just plotting my day. Actually, I'm sorry. My official birthday is tomorrow. We're Tuesday the 9th today, but
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
we're having a little private gathering with my family and tomorrow. As for today, I've got a lot of little deadlines to kind of finish up, and you know, that's kind of the usual day. It's like from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, there's never enough hours in the day to get everything done.
You are an unbelievable sort of energy, and it's funny because I did some stuff on the BBC on my show on Saturday, and I thought I'd get a little preview in of what we were going to be broadcasting tomorrow, and that's a conversation that you had with Colleen at the British Library,
Yeah.
and it was really fascinating to listen to you and to play a bit of it on the radio on the BBC on Saturday, and also just to kind of just reassess FK. And you know, we see each other regularly.
Yes.
And you know, your energy's high. But with time, the more impact that you've had in terms of pushing music, not just yourself, just, you know, the fact that what I was really focusing on actually when I was on the BBC the other day was I was focusing on your night, Deep Space Night that you used to have. In
16 years of deep space.
and you introduced so many to the UK, to the
Of
New,
course,
to the
yes.
New York dance floor. You know,
Yes.
unconventional producers.
Well, that was our lifeline. I would almost surmise that had we not done that, we would have sunk into sort of not obscurity, but predictability. And the party Deep Space started at Cielo around 2003, April 2003. And when Mala and all the rest of the UK, dubstep crew really became active was 2007. Say we started booking them by 2008. And that was such an incredible energy shot for us. That was like a boost like we had never seen. Suddenly, there were all these people that were coming because we were basically, after Dub War, that kind of wound down at that moment, we were the only people to want to book dubstep acts in New York.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, people didn't want to touch it. I mean, let's face it, the first couple of nights that we had, half my staff quit. They were like, no, we don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, deal with it.
Yeah.
And we just kept going because there was nothing else. Not only that was it so very exciting, but if you think of it in a conceptual sense, Deep Space is about dub, right? Now, when we talk about dub, we're not talking about, traditional Jamaican dub, reggae only. Dub, to me, was more of an aesthetic, an approach, a way to treat the music, to make any song I play and turn it into a dub. So when that came along, there was a direct connection with what we were doing. It fit so well, and it was so futuristic.
Yeah.
How could we not want to be behind it?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But people are conservative, and even the hardcore dancers, some of them are very conservative. So when you start sort of spinning it out with this new sound, it can be quite
Well, I
divisive.
told you the story, what happened when I was playing LTJ Bookham in 1996 at Body and Soul, right?
Tell me.
And like 50 people went to the door and they wanted their money back because they just didn't feel that that was what they wanted to hear. But we trained them to it. And what was funny is that I would argue that to a certain point, there's a parallel with punk in the sense that it's one thing to play music that people are sort of indifferent to. But if you play music that gets an incredible reaction, either negative or positive, then you've got something. And I think dubstep had that. And when Deep Space introduced dubstep, like, I've never had people from my staff saying, fuck this, I'm not working for you anymore. And, they came back.
They came back.
They were like, well, actually, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Just one question, actually. As you're talking about drum and bass and jungle and stuff.
Yes.
And there was a club in New York that was interesting as well before that. Was it Concrete Jungle?
Yes.
They were quite important, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They
but-
were the ones that brought Bookham and Conrad and all that.
Yeah.
They were really the direct line
Yeah.
to New York, and they were heavily supported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who used to run it, but he now runs the door at the Blue Note.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he's always there.
very sweet guy.
Super guy. Okay, I'm really sorry. I know you're listening. Oh, maybe you'll listen, but I'll be there at the Blue Note next Monday for
Right.
Louis Vega. Actually, I think
Yep.
he's playing, so maybe I'll get a squeeze through him. for
Okay.
that. So listen, Francois, I do want to keep talking, but let's play a track that I've asked you to bring a couple of tunes together. So tell us what this is.
Right. Okay. Is this how much you want it to be?
I just want to hear your voice
All right,
introducing
no
it.
problem.
Yeah, introduce it and we'll play it from the start.
Okay, so this is basically a very beautiful song called Oro Koro, and it's by an African artist called Mr. Easy, E-A-Z-I, and it features the talents of Angelique Kidjo, so it's a beautiful collaboration. I figured that'd be something I'd love to hear in the morning.
Let's do it.
Zagadat.
It's Kelpie vibes.
Ohun tó bá wẹ̀ lẹ́nu ló fi ń sọ̀rọ̀. Kò sí ohun tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́lẹ́ dá mi ṣe. You know say normally mi ò kí ń pariwo. Ohun tó lù wá ṣe kò tán ní kọ̀rọ̀. Oh yeah, follow me, Kalo. Make you see the kind of love I dey see. Oh yeah, follow me, Kalo. yeah. Tell me jalo. Make you see the kind of love Oluwa show me ò lè parọ́. Cause all the money where you get to, yo, you know if you carry am go below. I know the party where you get to, yo. Ojulari, we no know the coco. Up on the nosy where we get to, yo. We know if you smell all the body people. Now Papa got the way me get to, yo. Now Papa got the way me get to, yo. Yeah. Ohun tó bá wẹ̀ lẹ́nu ló fi ń sọ̀rọ̀. Kò sí ohun tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́lẹ́ dá mi ṣe. You know say normally mi ò kí ń pariwo. Ohun t'Olúwa ṣe kò tán ní kọ̀rọ̀. Who bada, kò sóhun bada. Throw me arrow, mo dá padà. I dey pray to Jesus, charge Jehovah. Give you thanks cause everything in order. Thank you Lord for giving manna. Only peace wey I desire. As I know soldier, I no retire. 1,000 years I go still dey fire. So the money where you get to, yo, you know if you carry am go below. I know the party where you get to, yo. Ojulari, we no know the coco. Up on the nosy where we get to, yo. We know if you smell all the body people. Now Papa got the way me get to, yo. Now Papa got the way me get to, yo. Yeah. Ohun tó bá wẹ̀ lẹ́nu ló fi ń sọ̀rọ̀. Kò sí ohun tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́lẹ́ dá mi ṣe. You know say normally mi ò kí ń pariwo. Ohun t'Olúwa ṣe kò tán ní kọ̀rọ̀.
Ẹ dá mi lóhùn, ẹ jẹ́ n kọrin, ẹ jẹ́ n jayé torí ayé ọdún wo. Ẹ wá nílé, ẹ wá ká lọ́jọ́. Ẹ dá mi lóhùn, ẹ jẹ́ n kọrin, ẹ jẹ́ n jayé torí ayé ọdún wo. Ẹ wá nílé, ẹ wá ká lọ. Oníkálukú tí ó wá ọ̀rọ̀ kan. Oníyá, oníbàbá o. Olúwa ló ní àṣẹ agbára. Ọ̀rọ̀ kan. Ẹ rọra tí a bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ wá dìde, ẹ wá ká lọ.
Excellent. So where would you play that song at the moment? Are you playing that out? This
well,
that vibe?
I would say, for example, for Body and Soul, this could really be an early record, no problem.
Yeah.
I could also do a little bit of trickery with some of my AI programs and take the voice out and lengthen it and make an instrumental of it, like, say, something I did to Janelle Monáe's such a beautiful track. I Only Have Eyes for You, but why the fuck is it only 2 minutes and 40 seconds when it has this dope theme with the piano and all that, the reggae, you know. So I took Janelle Monáe, I just made an instrumental, and I made my own edit, and it becomes like 6 minutes, and you have time for the track to breathe. So sometimes these tracks, we get so used to thinking, well, that's how it is, and I get vocals straight through and all that. But with just a little bit of work, you can turn them into something usable if you do your own edits, you know?
Yeah, of course. And
So that's what I would do, probably.
That's what you do. So, Francois, you're wearing the World of Echoes t-shirt.
Yes.
And Sakai did it.
Yes.
You very, very fantastic. Gave me a copy, generously done that. And so was that something that happened when you went out? You're still going to Japan a lot.
Yes, of course. Well, they approached me. I mean, it's clearly someone at Sakai, one of the creative directors.
Yeah.
They've been doing a whole bunch of collabs with different artists.
Yeah.
And they just felt that what I was doing with World of Echoes warranted, you know, sort of creative collaboration. And I was so proud, actually, that they did it, because to some degree, I think the design, they really got it.
They got it.
Like, every time I wear this, I get comments and people go, oh my God, it's like, is my vision right? Am I like?
Yeah. And did it go with a gig? I mean, what's your process in Japan at the moment? Because you always were at Yellow or at Contact. You had.
I mean, this last tour that I did at the beginning of August, I actually was booked at Fuji Rock Festival, closing one of the stages.
Brilliant.
Doing a live stem set. So I'm not sure if you know what those live stems are.
I do, but tell us.
It's basically, I have a system where when I DJ, if I want to, I can bring up an 8-track session of a song, which is like basically a simplified multi-track and I can do remixes on the fly, live, while I DJ. So it's really improvised. It's really not rehearsed and unique and not pre-planned. And so a lot of people have become very sensitive to that. Like, say, the first people who booked me were actually Spiritland. When Paul Noble heard about and saw that I was posting these videos about all my live improvised remixes, they were just like smitten, and they immediately wanted to book me to do that. But there's been quite a lot of other people who have booked me, and then I do it regularly during my streams. So in Japan, I think that was the bigger, part of the booking for this last tour, is that I did Fuji Rock. But I also had many other gigs in, one in Tokyo at the Bridge, and 4 more in different cities. So look, I got to be honest with you, and I'm sure you totally share the way I feel about it. I think the Japanese audience is one of the most knowledgeable, faithful, and absolutely incredible, because they're so supportive of what we do, no matter what it is that we play, instead of, I would say, certain other countries where the club audiences have become like normalized or standardized or reduced to expectations of a very narrow range of music. The Japanese just love it. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
You feel free.
And I think that is, the reason we're still doing this. I think if we were constrained to just play, a very formulaic kind of presentation, after a while you just get depressed. Not all of us.
Yeah,
maybe some people enjoy doing predictable.
I think you and I have had many days when we've seen each other after we've done shows, and we've been like wondering whether we should retire or not.
Well, Dubai was one of them.
But there are moments when it's difficult, right? Because but that constant sort of search for the nirvana of the dance floor, when it's what you want it to be. In a way, you need those like false events to make the other ones joyful, maybe. or you have to create your own ones, which is what you've always done.
Yes,
here
but
in New York.
The thing is, if you think of it in the context of a longer timeline, and obviously everyone's different, okay? Some people might take the example of the perennial all-time greatest acoustic bass player, Ron Carter. Ron Carter has just been keeping on and doing his thing for 60 years, and he's still kicking ass at 84 years old. Yeah. And I don't think there are many people out there that would even contest how powerful Ron's playing and how authoritative when he starts playing that bass, and it's just And I assume that for certain DJs, it's the same. They would just be more traditionalists, and part of their duty to the audiences and to the community is to help perpetuate a certain musical tradition. I don't see anything wrong with that, but the thing is, it's all your fault.
Right, yeah.
Because I went to Dingwalls,
right,
and then I went to see you on Shaftesbury Avenue when you were doing the party. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And it changed my life.
Wow.
Monday nights.
Yeah.
In London.
Well, we were
in 1993, 1994, and I was just like, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And then I'd see you play in another place the next time, and suddenly you'd pull out an all reggae set or whatever. And every time I saw you playing, you were like completely like taking me places that I didn't even know existed. So that inspired me.
Oh, that's great.
So it's all your fault.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But what's interesting as well, as you're talking in a way, you're talking about Ron Carter, and you're talking about, I look at jazz musicians, I think, well, that's a beautiful way to grow in a way, because you're always going to be in this kind of, you can go anywhere as a player, right? Especially if you're a bass player, you can kind of just tap into whatever. And as a DJ, this is where I suppose for you, the stems thing, or when you can create some sort of live performance outside, that allows you a different type of expectation in a way from the audience.
Well, we don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah,
I think that's an important thing, because in my opinion, if you're just looking at pure the technical or the performance side of DJing, it hasn't changed in 35 years. There hasn't been any technical developments that have changed the delivery. I'm not talking about, we have digital media and USB storage and network players and all that. But that doesn't mean anything to the audience. They're still hearing the same thing coming out of the speakers. But to me, the live stems what's important about it. And to some degree, what I was doing at Deep Space was a simplified version of that. Our motto was live on the mixing board, because I was doing live dubs in a much more simplistic manner of songs that I would be playing with all these echo effects and all that. And as a matter of fact, now we've taken it to the next level. I had a party on December 27th with Dimitri from Paris, and we did a sort of a nice shared night together set, and we called it the Echo Chamber Appreciation Society. This was the first gathering of the disciples. And the point is, I think people need to realize that, at least for some of us, and certainly in my case, and as well, Dimitri, we were both really enjoying doing effects processing and futzing with the music as it plays. So instead of always playing the same thing the same way and never having anything unique or different or in the spur of the moment thing, I think personally I'm noticing that this is something I truly enjoy, because with the live stems I could take it to a completely, like, totally unique and never to be repeated level. When I go in front of people doing that, it's like, yeah, maybe it'll look bad, maybe it'll look good, maybe there'll be great moments, but at least it's a sincere attempt at trying to perform something that's in the moment. And I think there's value to that in this day and age where everything is pre-packaged, pre-containerized, and to some degree, I think it becomes also similar.
Yeah, I totally get it. Talking of the opposite side of that is you picking a tune, because you've still got the passion for other people's music. It's just straight songs. And you'll so tell us about this one.
This is the next track is going to be one that's on the label Music for Dreams, and it's by a whole bunch of different people. I think sorry, I'm just trying to see the display of the name, actually. It's Kenneth Baker and Findlay Brown featuring Anders Ponsheig and Casper Tranberg.
Okay.
How's that for an artist? Okay.
Embrace it.
All right. And it's a track called Red Flowers, and I got to be honest with you, it's something that's been doing very, very well for me recently. It's kind of in that down-tempo, cosmic disco kind of vibe, but it has what people that hear it the first time, they always say it reminds them of a Herb Alpert rotation, but it has vocals.
Oh.
Yes.
Francois K. The Lot.
through. Something is. Oh, do I know what is real? No, it's real. Something is. All I know, how it feels.
Yeah. Okay. What a great show it's been. Francois Kevorkian. Happy birthday. It is today. No, it's tomorrow. It's
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm confused myself now. FK. So
Yes.
Okay. So you're playing as much as ever at the moment. It feels to me.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
Incredibly so, yes. And I got more things that I'm not really at liberty to disclose,
Yeah.
but some like big deal things that I'm hopefully going to get into in the next couple of years, like negotiating hopefully an artist in residence thing with a major museum, things
Very
like
nice.
that.
That's the
But
kind of thing.
it's evolving towards lectures, and I'm also starting a documentary company called Subculture NYC that's going to talk about the rise and development of dance music in New York City.
What happened to that documentary that you were doing, or some interviews? You interviewed me about 15
Yes.
years ago.
It's still there. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, that was.
I'm going to need to come back and have you come back and update it a little bit, but we'll talk more about
But
that.
you were DJ. You were interviewing DJs.
Well, some of that I used for World of Echoes, because when I was doing the program on Worldwide FM,
Yeah.
there was always a segment where I would interview many people, or pull out, shows of people who passed away. Like I had a segment where I had Walter Gibbons quotes and T. Scott, where I pulled out old radio interviews and this and that, or more contemporary things. Certainly I had Dave Lee, Dimitri, Yvonne Turner, so many people on my show. And so I got into the habit of trying to collect, lint, cultural lint.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Francois, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm going to be a body and soul. The one biggest regret I've got is the time that you said to me many years ago. You said to me, Giles, can you play at Body and Soul? I don't know if you might not even remember. And I was so scared. I was like, I can't do it. And then you said to me, I'm not going to invite any English DJs until you've played there. So I don't know if that ever happened.
Didn't.
So I'm really apologising to any British DJs.
It's all, like I said before, it's all your fault. It's many reasons for being your fault, but we are going to get to that in future shows we're going to do together.
All right, brilliant.
All right.
Hey, before you go, tell us a bit about Love Injection, because they're kind of joining us now. We've got Barbie and Paul here. So you've known them for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm supposed to have a column in their magazine,
Oh, yeah.
but it's very infrequent. It's called Rant Control, RANT.
I read a couple of them. I remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think that the reason I kind of wanted to participate is because it feels to me that this is one of those community efforts that are needed in order to get people to realize that they're not just isolated data points on a map, that we're really together. And we need people to chronicle that. We need people to kind of bring it to the forefront and give us a common area, whether it's clubbing, parties, right, or record releases, or in their case, a fanzine as well. And I think there was a void, and that they filled that for us in New York. That was, I think Faith are doing a pretty credible job of it in the UK, and I imagine they're more specialized jazz fanzines that I probably don't know about, that talk about more like the Little Sims and Salt and whoever else is really making that scene blow up right now. And
yeah. There's a lot.
I heard that concert was just so unbelievable.
They'll be coming to New York, apparently.
Yes.
Thank you, Francois.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me, and sorry for running over.
Never. we should have done 4 hours today, but it's only going to be 2 hours, and we've got it all very nicely tight today. If you've just joined us, this is Gilles Peterson on The Lot Radio. We're coming live from New York, and we've had Marcus Moore, the legendary author and great journalist on music and all things hip-hop and jazz particularly. We've had the guys from Human Head Records come in. Isn't that great? Sean, not just guys who work in a record shop, but they travel around. Sean Dubb came down to We Out Here, and Travis, of course, was in today, and they left me a couple of singles. They didn't leave me the James Spalding 45 I was hoping for. But there you go. Thanks, guys, for coming in, and of course the mighty François Gah. And some other people that I haven't. It's funny actually because I haven't seen you since Japan. I saw you in Japan.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I saw you in Japan. So briefly, yeah, but we were there at the same time. So Barbie and Paul Raphael are here from Love Injection magazine. This is your space, isn't it? Really, you're here all the time.
Every Saturday morning for 8 years now.
Every Saturday morning. Has this been going for 8 years, The Lot Radio?
I think this is the 8th year. Yeah.
Is it? So tell us, I was talking to Maurice Bernstein, and he said to me that him and I were on the front cover of your magazine once.
Yes.
And I can't even remember that.
That was issue 3? 2?
It was between 1 through 10.
Yeah, okay.
Probably because we didn't ask anyone for permission, including you.
Oh, that's all right. I wouldn't mind a copy, actually. Have you still got some of those?
Of course, I'll give you one.
How long has it been going for, Love Injection?
It's going to be 9 years next month.
9 years next month. And how's it going? Is it become a weight to deliver?
I was going to say, you don't have 4 hours on your show, do you?
No, we've got a few minutes.
It's been...
Have you been able to monetize it?
No. Well, I would say we had a lot more financial support until the pandemic, and then the pandemic just like the rest of the world, but we were publishing monthly, and upon the sort of lockdown, just the weight of, the train that had been going on for so many years at full speed, it kind of came to a halt, and it allowed us to both reconsider just the pace and the workload and the strain, and to kind of try to dedicate more intentionally to every issue. So we haven't been publishing every month, but Paul can tell you the rest.
Yeah.
4 or 5 issues a year we're averaging
right.
since lockdown. So
yeah, it's still amazing, and it's free, right?
It's free in New York. We give it away here, and we drop it off to all the record stores. But if it leaves the city, we collect a little wholesale. I
feel bad. I think I told you this at the time. You used to send me a little envelope with maybe 10 in there, and I used to think, I'm getting 10 copies of Love Injection, and I'd sort of just keep them floating about in the office. It was in the office at least,
cool. But that's the intention. Yeah.
But I never really delivered them to the shops.
No, the idea was that we knew that you would love it, or we hoped that you would love it, and then you did, and you told us, and just people coming in and out, it's if you throw it on your coffee table and a friend comes over and it's oh, what's this, that's kind of the idea. So
and so basically, as Francois was saying, it's a very important part of celebrating a culture, a music culture, a scene, club culture, from a certain perspective, which I love. We're all connected, and that's why in a way we see each other in different parts of the world. And you came to We Out Here as well this year, didn't you, and played there for Colleen and on the Love Dancing.
A highlight.
That was a good one.
Unbelievable.
It was a good one. So in a way, where did you start off before you were DJing and making the magazine? Were you fans of the music? Were you going to Body and Soul? Were you going to some of these clubs?
Yeah. I got my start actually with Maurice at Giant Step. I was interning at Giant Step.
Right.
It kind of led me to 718 sessions where I found my people, and I found the music that I loved.
Right.
And eventually the Loft, and then there was Red Bull Music Academy was in town, and they were kind of doing this daily magazine, and when they left, it's kind of felt like it left a void, and I felt I'm in a pretty good position as a graphic designer. This would never work if we weren't creative people that could do it ourselves, top to bottom. So I felt it was in a good position to start to try it, and then we just started there, kept going.
Yeah.
And I was I've always kind of been a club kid, so I was always going out from when I'm 16. And I was involved in sort of I had blogs and websites and stuff. So I was doing a lot of writing about culture and music in general, and I loved music. And once I moved to New York, I was clubbing in Miami. It was kind of where I got my my feet sort of into the warm waters of the club. And I'd say like Louis was the first DJ like in the house realm that like I heard, and I was just like, oh my God, like what is this? And it totally changed the course for me. And it wasn't until I moved to New York and eventually landed upon this party called Joy, which is connected to the Loft, that it brought everything into perspective, and that sort of set me on the path.
Amazing. Well, look, I mean, the thing about Love Injection is that it started off as a magazine, as a voice piece for a scene. We all love New York. We all love the clubs and the you know what Louis and all these people have been doing for FK. You know, residencies, great clubs, great sounds. You know, people who get it. And so for us, it's great. So there was a magazine. That's how I first sort of really connected with what you were doing and seeing it. And then of course then came the label, which I just played the track just now, and I'm going to play another one because I want to play a track. I don't know if I've got it queued up. Hopefully I have got it queued up. I have actually, yeah. Because Barbie, you've made a record that came out last year, and
I did,
and then they came out on your label, right? So
yes.
So let's play the track, and,
Okay.
and we'll talk about it afterwards. Brilliant. Here we go. sounds absolutely brilliant. So yeah, this is. Tell us about your album. About this album. 'Cause it came out a year ago, right? Ish.
I think so. Right, a year maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Had you done records before? Had you?
No.
So
Well,
that's your voice throughout.
it's my voice.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry for that. I'm just kidding. In 2018, I kind of had a period of like unemployment and a lull. And I happened to land upon a crew of people, and one of them became a bit of a mentor. And I've always, appreciated music so deeply, and I always wanted to kind of get closer to it. And I think DJing was a vehicle for getting closer to it. But it wasn't until 2018 that I picked up the bass and I started playing bass. And it was a kind of a period of like a lot of emotional turmoil too, and just kind of growing pains, sort of lack of confidence. And I started working on these projects that I didn't know eventually would become an album.
Great.
But that was from that time.
That's amazing. And so, so far, the Kaori Inui record, is that how you say it?
Yes, it's a Yusushi Ide with a Karo Inoue remix.
Remix, that's it. Okay, so that's one that came out on a 45. I got a 7-inch of that. Then there's the
From June, yeah.
Conclave album. There's the Barbie album.
Then there's the Film Alpha remix project. You supported the Fote remix this summer, actually.
Love that. Love that. That's been a big one for me, the Phil Joffa thing. Yeah, been really, really good. Okay, state of the nation, state of clubs at the moment. How is it? What's new? What's going on? Where is it at?
I like to say we're spoiled for choice. Every club kind of has a different personality and fits a different type of person. But we, I don't know, we're just lucky to have a lot of good options. Sound systems have come back to the forefront a little bit from being on the outside for a while. There was a period in the 2000s where a lot of the good parties were happening in DIY spaces, which was good for some things, but production and sound definitely lacked. So output, kind of when they came around, they started to really wave the flag for that. And since then, Brooklyn's really become more or less the center for nightclubbing. Now Queens, because Brooklyn's too expensive. So we're out in Ridgewood, Queens. We have places like Nowadays and Hollow. Public Records is in Gowanus. Good Room is fantastic right over here. Knockdown Center.
Yeah. Oh, Knockdown Center. Yeah, I did like that place the other day.
You went for Body and Soul, right?
I went in there and I had a look around and I did enjoy it. I thought that could be a little mini We Out here.
Yeah. I was thinking, when we talked about it a little bit, and then that venue came to mind. It would be a great space.
Yeah, it would be a good space. But anyway, look, I'm going to be playing tomorrow at Public Records, which I've never done before. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm playing at New Blue because I just love hanging out with Orhan. Yes. And it's a good space. We have fun in there. But it's not really known for the sound, but it's just a really great live venue. And we still have a great party in there. But I love coming here. And of course, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm in your space because this is where you play your radio shows. But hopefully we've done well. Thank you to all our guests today.
Yes.
And yeah, have a great rest of your day. And it is raining.
It is raining.
It is raining. There you go. That's the latest news from the weather crew. Thank you very much for listening. And I don't know what's going on next, but I'm sure something will happen here on the lot. And anyone who's been listening, Worldwide FM, thank you for tuning in. And happy birthday, Francois K.
Rise to fall and try again. It's not easy to begin. Rise to fall in love again. If it gets easy, tell me where. But Yes, I need you. Oh, Lord. Yes, I love you. Yes, I need you.
All right, just enough time for one more tune. Might as well plug one of my own. This is a remix just come through, and it's on vinyl. It's Wallace, Strata, Emma-Jean Thackeray. And once again, thank you to all the guests who came in today. Last minute, everyone just decided to do this sometime yesterday. So much appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed listening, watching.
promised me a raise. I said, who's gonna raise me when I'm dead? Oh, I'm so tired of punching that clock every day. Working every day. Always skating on thin ice. Lord knows we could use a holiday, baby. Just the two of us would be so nice. Give me the bump. Give me the bump. in Central Park. I really love New York City. Still number one in my heart. Sometimes I feel like a stranger here, used and abused and forgot. Sometimes I feel like no one would really give a damn if I drop dead right here on the spot. Say, give me the bum.
Hey, dis donc. Ce soir.
Give me the bum, bum.
Ce soir.
Give me the bum, 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 beat.
Ce soir.
Give me the good life. Give me the bum, 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 beat. Give me the good life. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
All right, I'm just going to play a couple more, well, maybe one more, because we're waiting for the next DJ to turn up. Thought I'd play a couple of New York classics for you. And it's funny, when I was talking to Francois K, I said, should we play Abstract Truth, Get Another Plan, the track that we released. That came out on his label Wave, that I released on Talking Loud. And he goes, no, let's just play new music, that's his thing. He wasn't interested. I did have this one ready to play just in case if he wanted to go there, but I'm sure he's sick to it. But we're not. This is, of course, D-Train, who was his guest actually at his most recent party, James D-Train Williams. He, of course, You're the One for Me. And Francois, very, very essential for the label Prelude.
You know, I came here tonight by myself. But I knew I wasn't going to leave by myself. You know, I knew you were going to be here. I saw you dancing all the way across the floor. I knew you were going to be here. I saw you dancing all the way across the floor. Talking that body talk, talking that body talk. Talking that body talk, talking that body talk. You know, I knew you were gonna be here. You know, I can talk too. 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 Now that you've got it, what are you gonna do with it? Show me. Do you really think you can handle it? That's right.